What's up guys, Jay Kun from Fitness Culture. Today we're going to be talking about another advanced training technique. It's going to be the floor to knee deadlift. And if you have a better name for this, go ahead and tell me. I don't really know what to call this, but we've utilized this tool to help people who, number one, have a poor setup at the bottom position of their deadlift, and number two, to really work your pull off the floor. And that's the biggest reason that we use it. Work your pull off the floor without basically damaging a bunch of muscle tissue. So this is a tool that you can use later on in the week to get a moderately heavy weight back in your hands, and the way that we use it, it's not going to tear up a bunch of muscle tissue, so you can go pretty heavy again during the week. It's not going to affect your central nervous system as much, but you'll be able to basically really work that bottom in range of motion of your deadlift to really help your explosion off the floor. All right guys, this training tool is great to really work your pull off the floor, but it's also good to kind of get some more volume for people that have a bad setup at the bottom position of their deadlift, so you can utilize it for that as well. But we usually use it to really help people that do have that bad pull right off the floor. And the reason it's great is it's going to allow you to get a moderately heavy barbell back in your hands during your training week. So let's say you deadlifted heavy on Monday, and we come back on Thursday or Friday. We can put a moderately heavy, maybe 80 to 85%, do sets of 3 with this training technique. We're not going to focus on the eccentric at all. We're only going to focus on the concentric portion of the movement, and that's going to allow you to go heavy again without tearing up a bunch of muscle tissue. You're going to recover fast from it and really just focus on that pull off the floor. So I'm going to go over what it's going to look like right now, and then you can also utilize this tool with the deficit, so we'll cover that as well. All right guys, so the floor to knee deadlift is exactly what it sounds like. You're going to be starting on the floor. You're going to get in your regular deadlift stance, and from here you're going to get a nice setup. I usually like to pull the bar right to my shins. From there, drive my armpits into my hip pocket, get nice and tight, and then basically what you're gonna do is focus on pulling right to your knee, and then from there, you're just gonna drop to the floor and set back up. So notice how I didn't control it back to the floor at all. We're not focusing on the eccentric at all today. We're just gonna let it drop down to the floor and just focus on that first pull. You can stop right at the knee, go a little bit above the knee, wherever you're the most comfortable with, but by not really grinding all the way through that rep and not controlling the eccentric, like I was saying, you're gonna bounce back quick from this. It's not gonna make you very sore, and it's a really great tool to really increase your pull off the floor. Another way that we can make this movement even more advanced is by adding a deficit. Basically, we're just gonna be adding a podium, and what that's gonna do is just increase the range of motion of the movement. So it's gonna make it so obviously you're gonna have to pull further to get to your knees, but it's gonna be even harder to set up at the bottom because the bar is gonna be closer to your feet, right? So you're gonna stand on the podium, and it's gonna be the same thing. You're just gonna set up. So the only way you should move up to the deficit is if you have a perfect position from the floor. Once you have your perfect position from the floor, you can try to add the podium. From here, it's gonna be the same thing. You're gonna grab the bar, make sure it's nice and close to your shins. From there, take the slack out of the bar and drive your armpits to your hip pocket. And then you're just gonna pull top of the knee and then just drop it back down to the floor. Reset every time. I mentioned this a little bit before, but we usually use this training technique for your second deadlifting day of the week, and it's helped me out a ton. I was kind of looking for a way to add another heavy pull from the floor during the week, but if I deadlifted on Monday, and let's say I'm gonna deadlift heavy from the floor again on Thursday, I would never recover again for the next week. So by focusing on only using the concentric portion of the movement, making it a partial rep, there's not a lot of muscle tissue damage there, and it allows you to recover faster. The way that we program it for our athletes is usually using the RPE scale, so rate of perceived exertion. So it's all based on how you feel going into that training session. So if you're really beat up from that Monday deadlift session, you're not gonna go as heavy using this technique on the Thursday or Friday session that we have for the week. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick tutorial on the floor to knee deadlift. It's really helped me out a ton in my training. We put a link in the description if you want to download a day of how we would program this into your training day. And if you're having problems with your deadlift and you want to bust through a plateau, we also have some more deadlift videos. One of them is going to be how to utilize the rack pull to get your deadlift stronger. So if you want to check out that video, you can click up here. If you like this content, please leave me a comment on what you want me to cover next, and please subscribe to the channel by clicking here. Thank you.